Coming soon from SJS Direct, Spellbound, a darker shade of black. I was watching David Carroll's classic video yesterday where he was talking about how these Afro-American Negro women were making nasty comments about Gabby Douglas's hair yet again. Now, back at the 2012 Summer Olympics when Gabby Douglas won her first gold medals, we had these Afro-American Negro women making nasty statements about Gabby Douglas's edges, talking about how her hair was nappy, and they were doing this to try to minimize this woman's accomplishments. Because many of these Afro-American Negro women who are making these type of statements are jealous of a woman like a Gabby Douglas. Your Gabby Douglas has done something that many of these Afro-American Negro women will never be able to do, and that is go out and set a goal for herself, persevere towards that goal, and then go on to accomplish that goal. Many of these Afro-American Negro women who make these statements about Gabby Douglas's hair, these are the same women who are pretty much, they cannot do anything of themselves, so they try to make efforts to devalue and minimize the accomplishments of this wonderful young lady who has gone out and done something that very few black women will ever be able to do in their life. So they try to, because they're really jealous of her, so they want to make efforts to try to cut her down and bring her down to the gutter where they are. So they have to go and attack the only thing that they believe has value to them. Because when they make these statements about her hair, they're coming from their frame of reference. And in their frame of reference, they believe that hair is the only thing that has value. So they go and talk about her nappy edges and her nappy hair. But what they don't understand is when you're trying to accomplish something and trying to achieve something in your life, you're not really focused on superficial things like hair. You understand that at the end of the day, after you go and win these gold medals and win this tournament, you can go ahead and take those winnings that you have earned from that accomplishment and go take yourself to a nice hairdresser and then go get your hair done. That's what a woman like a Gabby Douglas does. She's focused on the goals she wants to achieve, not focused on silliness such as social currency, such as hair. At the end of the day, no one really cares about hair. What they really care about is trying to get themselves to the next level. And your Gabby Douglas has pretty much taken herself to one of the highest levels when it comes down to athletics, competing in the Olympics. That is just the pinnacle of competition, and she's on that level. And many of these Afro-American Negro women, because of their low self-esteem, look down at themselves in the gutter, and they look at themselves and they say to themselves, I can't cut this woman down and bring her down to my level based on achievements and accomplishments. So what I'm going to do is go try to find one aspect of her that I can attack, and they use that one aspect to try to cut her down and try to devalue her. And that one aspect that they go after is her hair. And when they do that, they pretty much show us, how hypocritical they are, because they're going to sit there and talk about Gabby Douglas's hair, but this Afro-American Negro woman, by her own actions, show us how little value she has for her own hair. Because if this woman really cared about her own hair, then why is she going out of her way to weave a white woman's blonde hair into her scalp? Answer that question for me. You're going to attack Gabby Douglas, who has her own hair on her head and is pretty much pulling it back so that she can go out here and win these gold medals. But many of these Afro-American Negro women, for the most part, don't like their own hair and will weave a white woman's hair or some Indian woman's hair or some Asian woman's hair into their head and then want to talk about Gabby Douglas's hair. That's hypocritical all overall for you to say that her hair is bad when you yourself think that your own hair is bad because you're going to go out here and weave somebody else's hair into your head. And that's what's really sad and backwards about all these black women going out here attacking your Gabby Douglas. Now, from my own personal experience, I've seen this type of jealousy coming from these Afro-American Negro women, and I've lived in a house with family members who have dealt with this jealousy coming from Afro-American Negro women. Many of these Negro women out here they don't like to see women who are going out trying to achieve something or accomplish something. So again, they make efforts to try to cut you down in some way, shape, or form because they feel insecure in the presence of any black female who's trying to go out and do something positive with herself, trying to go out here and accomplish something with her life. And to them, they want to find a way to try to bring you down to their level. So in addition to trying to attack people on their hair, they'll try to say that, you know, you're not right or there's something wrong with you, or they've tried to find some sort of social aspect to try to cut you down. And this is something that not only have I, as my female family members, run into, but I've run into myself. And that what they want to do is they'll try to say things like, "Oh, you're acting white," or "You're not being social enough." And they want to do is make you just like them. They want to bring you down to their level and bring you down to their level of dysfunction. And what you have to do if you want to try to achieve something in life is you have to pull yourself away from these crab in a bucket Negroes and understand that they're going to remain at the bottom of society and they don't want to, they're never going to try it, and all they're going to do is keep you down if you get involved with them. And if you start trying to listen to them and trying to incorporate their dysfunctional ideas into your life, you're going to see yourself tumbling right into the gutter with them. Because when they look at a woman like a Gabby Douglas or they look at a person like a Shawn James, they really get uncomfortable because you are representing an idea of blackness that does not fit the narrative, the culture, and the values that they're used to. And because you do not fit the narrative, culture, and values and ideas that they're used to, these Negroes, they start to get jealous, they start to get upset, and they start to get angry. And the reason why they get angry is because they're taking a look at themselves and they're not seeing you reflected in them. So they try to find ways to pick you apart, they try to find ways to attack you. And some of them get so upset that when they see you, they start getting angry and violent because you are not the idea of black that they want you to be. And I look at that and at what they're doing with Gabby Douglas, and again, it takes me back to when I was about 12 or 13 years old, back when I was in IS 148, because I'd run into these type of Negroes back there, and I'm starting to understand where the roots of this is coming from, because this jealousy, again, as David Carroll stated before, is a female trait. And a lot of these males that I had to deal with came from single mother households. And that what they're doing is they're taking the social behaviors they learned and transposing it onto their male interactions with other males. And this is what I'm seeing with this whole Gabby Douglas situation. Here we have some jealous Negro women. They cannot go out and accomplish anything of their own self, of their own merits. So they try to bring this accomplished young lady into the gutter with them. And what they try to do is they try to attack this woman's hair as a way to go after her. And I listen to that and it just makes me want to shake my head, because I look at that and, you know, you have this girl out here doing something amazing. I mean, literally persevering and pushing past some of the greatest challenges anyone has had to deal with, because just going into gymnastics itself is a challenge in and of itself. But then to come from the situation that she came from, that's amazing accomplishment to say that you're going to take yourself all the way to this level to get this gold medal. And then you have these Negro women out here trying to cut this woman down. You think that these so-called queens would be out here trying to uplift this type of female because she is presenting an exemplary example of what it means to be a black woman. But your strong, independent Negro female isn't going to try to, support this type of female. Why? Because this type of young woman does not fit the narrative that many of these Afro-American Negro women want represented regarding themselves. Because when they see a woman like this, they get upset because somebody's going to ask them to start taking accountability for their life, taking responsibility for their life, and trying to do something other than being a single mother or being involved in a relationship with one of these dysfunctional Negroes out here and wasting away her life on public assistance or in one of these low-wage, dead-end jobs. And if somebody starts taking a look at Gabby Douglas, they're going to start asking her questions. And this Negro woman doesn't want anyone to ask her any questions because she believes that she is the queen bee. And because she believes that she is the queen bee, she believes that she's supposed to be the leader and authority in the black community. And because she is the leader and authority in the black community, as the queen bee, everybody has to do what she tells them to do, but no one can ask her any questions. But when we look at this queen bee and we take a closer examination of her, what we see is that this queen bee wants to control others, but this queen bee has no control over herself because we look at her community and they're not producing Gabby Douglases. What they're producing mostly are baby mamas and dusty Negroes because that's what's coming out of your Afro-American Negro community regarding most of these young boys and girls out here. I wish we would produce more Gabby Douglases because if we had more Gabby Douglases, people wouldn't be getting angry about her hair. They'd be getting angry about things like if the girls' grades weren't on point. That would be something they would be focused on, not on somebody's hair. I mean, that's a superficial and shallow argument to try to devalue someone who is going out here and accomplish something. And this is something I've run into, again, myself on numerous occasions. Whenever any sort of black person tries to go out here and achieve something or accomplish something, you'll have these crab in a bucket Negroes coming out here trying to find some way to throw salt on whatever you do. And this is something that again, has happened to me in my own life, has happened to my family members in their own life, and this is something that I've seen, again, so many times, it's not even funny. Every time you try to do something, here comes one of these Negroes, trying to throw salt on it. And these Negro females right now are trying to throw salt on one of the most accomplished and achievers in our black community. And this is the type of girl we really need to get behind and support 100%. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.